Well, good morning, everybody. Again, welcome to another Mindset Mastermind, our daily dose of inspiration, motivation, a whole lot of information to get us thinking differently and energized to maybe even have a full day of perspiration doing the work that actually gets us to our goals. And man, are we in some meaty content here in inner excellence still in chapter one, Maslow and the Maserati, because there were so many things we didn't cover yesterday. And I almost think this is what this book's going to wind up doing to us, is keeping us in this content, thinking differently about how we get to think differently. So with that being said, as always, guys, it's your room. Man, I can't wait to talk about that as well. And I'd love to hear from you on what your takeaways are today. So who is going to be my first to speak up? April, the floor is yours.
So I don't know what pages they are because I'm using a Kindle version and my audiobook. But there's two spots that I want to point out. One where he says is right before the influenza virus. It says attachment to something you're not in complete control of makes you needy and brings with it the fear of not getting what you want. And then a little farther down, it also says that winning isn't the best measure of success because you can't control or sustain it. And you might win, but might not be your best effort, which lures you into laziness. I think that really spoke to me because my husband and I, we just started watching this one anime called Ippo. He's a boxer. He fights this one opponent who has a strategy. He's winning, but he's so focused at one point of KO that he completely messes up his whole strategy because he's just focused on that winning. He lost control because he just wanted to control that. So I thought that really stuck out to me, and I thought that was really cool to read that here too.
Awesome. And yeah, that concept of not being focused on the goal, because that's what winning is. The winning is the goal, and letting go of that, guys, it changes everything. All right, Colleen, the floor is yours.
Well, on that same page and on that same note, that exactly what I had highlighted was we get so locked into winning that we become afraid of losing. Definitely feel that. But my biggest I love on this page was just the imagery of Michelangelo chiseling away at the sculpture of David. And I feel like that is exactly what I've been doing. And I love the way to visualize that, just chiseling away at all the things that we don't want or need and just getting down to who we really are. That was my love, love, love. And that was it.
Yeah, that was Michelangelo's quote almost verbatim back in the day when he was asked, how did you create David? And his answer was, I didn't. David was always there. I just removed everything that wasn't David. I mean, that was his answer. And it's flipping true. And here's the fun part for you guys. And it's something that I focus on a lot. I look at it through the lens that you were all born into this world as that perfect being of light. You showed up exactly how you needed to be. You're literally a 1 in like 6 billion chance based on the mathematics of the genetics. And then you went through this growth process where you just started going around collecting baggage. Some of you have a few pieces of Samsonite. Many of us have the complete set of Louis Vuitton, everything they ever made. And yet we're carrying that baggage. And all we get to do, rather than having somebody chisel it away, we just need to be willing to let go and put it down. And life magically changes. And it takes a while to get it all. And I might even say we never quite get it all put down. And yet we get to keep working piece by piece through that process. What else do you guys have?
Hey everyone, good morning. So, one of the things that was kind of refreshing for me, and I'm not sure if I'm phrasing it correctly, but what it sounded like he was saying was that the laws, the rules, what we have been given essentially has not really been serving a lot of us very well. Um, we've been taught that getting to the finish line, that winning is everything, but that does not determine my value. I mean, think about all the people in the world that have literally jumped off of buildings because they felt worthless, because they were told, hey, you haven't accomplished this, or you haven't done that thing, or whatever it is, and they have just ended it because they did not value themselves. Me personally, hearing that basically says to me, hey, it's okay, self value. I don't know if that makes any sense to anyone else.
Well, you're tying right into some of the previous content where he talked about the world's mindset, or I would even call it society's mindset, that winning is everything. You are the results, that the opponent is the enemy, that failure is not an option, that fierce competitors get mad, angry, pissed off when they lose. And instead moving to a mindset of so many different places where you're on the journey getting better. The small steps every day. And instead of measuring against any external force or any external measure, strictly measure against yourself. Not did you do everything today? Let's just use today as an example. Not that you did everything today, and did you do better today than yesterday? Were you your word today? One of my biggest points, be your word. When you said you were going to do something, did you do it? And if you fell short, because you know what? I'm looking through stuff and I told somebody I would do something via text and I forgot that day. It didn't happen back in December. So I've already reached out. I'm going to have a conversation today about it because, it fell through the cracks. Life happens. Giving yourself the grace, but still incrementally better every day. One piece, 1 degree over the next 12 months is a complete circle. Sarah, you're up.
Oh, okay. I go to the 3 questions on page 9. What do I dream about? What do I worry about? What has regularly made me anxious? And what do I get upset about? What has made me the angriest? Because on the page before that, there's a quote that I highlighted. It said, to live with fullness of life, then we must get our loves in empowering order. We must love what is most powerful. So I've written those questions down and I am actually working on answering those questions because I think priority of empowerment, or what empowers me, should be in priority. So I guess that's what I'm getting from this book, is that maybe my thought process isn't quite aligned with what my goals are. Not maybe, but my thought process isn't quite aligned with what my goals are. We'll take the maybe out of it. So I like those 3.
And also on this piece, here's the great part I know about you, Sarah, because of our conversations. One of the things that I have taught over and over is we have this vision of success. And the vision of success is all about us. And I know time and time again, people that I have coached to success, they've hit all their markers that they wanted for themselves. And now they're extremely dissatisfied. Because it's not actually success we strive for at the deepest level, it's significance, where we're now affecting others and making other people's lives better. I already know, Sarah, from you and my conversation, that your biggest fear in the moment is a singular significance that you and I are working on. And the fun part is when you achieve that one, there'll be a new domino of significance, a new domino of significance. Our pursuit of success gets in the way of that. So the quicker we can get you, and I'll just drop into the minutia right now, the quicker we can get you to your magic pending number, which is a number I've developed to get you to your success of having your life in order. Once you get there, you can immediately start working on significance and change the total path of your life. What else do you guys have?
Are we recording, by the way?
Oh, gosh, darn it. Yes, I remembered yet again. Thank you for checking on me, client.
All right.
I love it. The client knows me well enough that knows once in a while things fall through the crack, don't they? And I'm okay with that, brother. Appreciate you. What else you guys have? Don't hide it in the chat. Bring it to the room. Christy, the floor is yours.
Okay. I think one thing that I noticed that this book is doing for me so far is some of this stuff I'm already thinking about before I even read the content. So when I am already thinking about it, like I was talking with you on cardio the other day about how someone's almost an atheist, but and I say practically. So then I read the page like 10, 11 the next day, and I was like, wait a minute. And that's happened for like 3 different times throughout this book. Like, I'm already getting in the mindset and already kind of there before I even read it in the book. And so the book's kind of helping me hone in on it. And I'm doing the same thing as I'm working on the questions that are at the end so I can answer them truly. And also, I think it's on page 15. I think April said something about the winning mindset, and I realized that that's not what it is about for me at all, because even when I get like another commission check, that's not what fills me with purpose. Like, I get more excited about helping the family get into the home that they wanted, that they thought they were never going to have, and that's what fills me. So that's just what I wanted to bring in. I couldn't pinpoint the pages today, but I know there's different parts of it that I've kind of clicked into.
Well, you nailed it on 15. So I would say, rather than telling yourself you couldn't pinpoint the page, you actually did it with mathematical certainty. Because you talked about here on page 15, winning the gold medal isn't great because of the medal itself. And here's the key piece. The greatness lies in the person you become. To your goals, you have got to become somebody radically different. It is a requirement. So with that being said, I want to go common traits, because we didn't cover them all yet yesterday, and nobody brought in number 1. So that one was one to me because it's my word. It's the word that is on my washer on my wrist. Total absorption is what he calls it. They learn to experience key events fully, vividly, and selflessly. With my word for that is presence. You can't do those things without stepping back and being present, rather than your thoughts of what you're going to say and your thoughts of what you're going to do. Being present in the moment and taking it all in. And I know you guys are present in this moment, so now you can shift to what else you want to talk about.
I just want to just say a quick thing. I was listening to a gentleman, I don't remember his name, but he was a former basketball player, and he was talking about purpose. He said the absolute worst day of his life was the day that he retired. Now, in our world, we're like, man, listen, you retired, you're a millionaire, you can do anything you want to do. And he said he was miserable. He literally said he spent most of his days driving around the city of Los Angeles, simply looking for things to do. He realized after doing that for about a year that his problem was he had no purpose. From elementary school to middle school to high school, getting up at 7 o'clock, 6 o'clock, and working out and then doing games as a professional, he had purpose. The minute that purpose ended, kind of talking to what Coach is talking about, he became absolutely miserable with his millions of dollars. I've always
Yeah, the
thought that
money
was
doesn't
why.
solve the problem, man. The money does not solve the problems. It actually just highlights who you really are. So if you get money and you're a crappy person, well, gosh darn it, you're just going to be even better at being a crappy person. What else you guys have? Josh, brother, thank you. What do you have, my friend?
Everybody hates uncomfortable silence, right? On page,
Almost everybody.
almost everybody. It is a great tool in negotiation. I love silence, but I was going to let you off the hook. Page 14, and I think you covered this a little bit yesterday, and I think it sums up kind of the way you are pushing us down this road. So often we end up chasing feelings to feel better about ourselves, becoming a slave to our impulses, rather than doing what needs to be done to build a long-term foundation for the best possible life. This business allows you to chase opportunities, chase clients, chase feelings, chase rabbit holes. And if you set up the processes and stay true to what you're trying to accomplish, you can build a long-term way of doing business as opposed to being pulled in 25 different directions.
Let's have a little fun with this, Josh, and shift it into the real estate space a minute. Because almost every real estate agent I talk to in our initial conversation, I can define why they got in real estate from talking to them. And I ask great questions, and it comes down to three things. They want freedom. I can get free through real estate. I can have a life of freedom doing what I want long term. They want flexibility. I can choose what I do with my time in the moment. And they want wealth. I can make massive income. And they choose freedom and flexibility, and the wealth is rather elusive. What this really speaks to at a easy to understand level, first and foremost, is discipline. We'll chase the immediate impulse of the things we want. I got to check my email. I got to check I got to be on social media, versus the discipline of I'm going to have conversation. Maybe even the discipline to show up from 2 to 5 o'clock Central right here in this room, and the discipline of having more conversations. We do the impulses of the other stuff, the firefighting that makes us feel so good, rather than the true actions that are goal achieving. The bigger piece of this now is the same thing when it comes to developing our mind. If you go and you jump on social media first thing, or right before bed, I'm going to scroll TikTok for 30 minutes, what are you really feeding your mind? Responding to an impulse of a short-term humor or joy or whatever, versus a long-term learning and retraining brain. My recommendation, you feel that need to scroll, look for Jim Murphy videos, Inner Excellence videos, and watch those since you're in that content right now. Go back and look at Larry Kindle. Work on stuff that avoids impulse and says, no, I'm going to quiet you down, and instead leads into the content that is going to help you become amazing here in 2025. What else, guys? It's your room. Mr. Justin, what do you got, brother?
I don't think we covered this yesterday, but as you go through the big nine, number 7, solitude. Self-actualizers are able to be alone with their feelings. They desire solitude. to a greater degree than the average person. Self-actualizers or selfless actualizers, excuse me, enjoy time for quiet reflection and do not always have to have people around them. They're able to be near somebody and have no need to communicate with them. Just being in their presence is sufficient in and of itself. So I like to tie back to presence for you and what you strive for. Reading that, I think about kind of like a then, now, and future perspective. So I know there was a time when I had to talk or be talking to somebody all of the time, um, and I don't need that anymore. And I think a portion of those people that I used to be communicating with all the time were not vibrating at the same level that I'd like to vibrate at. So then I find myself with people that I know, love, and care about, but I'd really rather not talk because I love them more when they're not talking. And so I'm okay with being by myself, but then I think there's another level that I probably have yet to grow into within this space.
And I want to have some fun with this piece, Justin, that's come up, because this morning, you were letting me know that you are headed here to the island. What, May? Is that what it was?
Yeah, end of April into May.
We are going to do 15 minutes of solitude. In fact, maybe even 30 of grounding and solitude on the beach. And just see what that looks like. Be fun to hang with you and say nothing simultaneously. You up for it?
Yeah, sounds
All
awesome.
right, man. I appreciate it. Because, guys, this is a piece that you don't need anything else outside of you. There may be desire. I like desire. Need equals lack. It means something missing. Desire means chasing something higher. In fact, desire in its original Latin form means from the Father. It's a higher calling, and that's why I use that language instead. So by all means, guys, lean into maybe spending some solitude time, checking in with yourself on that, and even solitude time with a journal. How powerful would that be that you're writing your thoughts down? What else?
Boy, this is a quiet bunch today.
Yeah,
I do have a quick
We're
question. Side note.
experiencing solitude, Christy. That's all. What do you have?
Okay.
And then I got Celeste right after you.
It was really quick about conversations and scripts. The schedule that I have, I'm doing the Fast Cap program, so I can't necessarily get in there the whole entire time with everything I'm trying to do. You said that it was okay just to hop in there when I can, make a few calls, and hop off. Is that what you
Absolutely.
had
You know
said?
what? This is not a 2 to 5 Monday through Friday locked in life. And I'd love you if you don't have an appointment with a buyer or seller. I'd love to have all of you in there. Appointments trump lead gen, and all it really does is shift it. If you erase, you must replace.
Okay.
And yet the most important thing you guys can be doing is having conversations, building relationships, connecting with people. If you had just 200 people on a 36 touch, 4 conversation relationship focused on them, based on Larry Kindle's math, you'd have 30 deals a year. 33 deals a year is kind of the magic I'm free number for almost anybody. So 220 people. And by the way, if you do the math, and I'll just make it even fatter, that's 4 conversations a day. To maintain relationship
That
with
makes it
220
easier.
people to get to your 30. Celeste, the floor is yours, my dear.
So I'm writing in the margins on my book of my thoughts, my best of, and I am aware that every single morning we listen as you talk about your, I am grateful for this, I'm grateful for that. And I sit here with my face like a bird or a deer in headlights going, because I know you've got it and you're expressing it, but it's challenging for me. For some reason, I haven't been able to put my thoughts on paper. So I finally bought myself one of these small grateful for books that it's like a daily write it down kind of thing. And I feel that this is my mission, is to learn how to show myself what am I grateful for. And just being present in my day would probably do wonders for my production, because I'm one of those people that I'm always talking about what I haven't done, what I didn't do, instead of recognizing all that I do. Because I do quite a bit for my clients, and yet I still, every day I beat myself up. Could I have done more?
So let's
What-
talk about what
Oh, I'm
you
sorry.
do for yourself first thing in the morning, because you were in that meeting we had regarding the morning checklist.
I'm sorry, you were talking and then client was noisy in the background.
I got it.
so I couldn't hear
You were in the conversation we had about the morning checklist. The extra 30 minutes we did as a group for those that wanted to be there on these things. The only reason this is written down every day to where I am prepared to talk about my gratitudes and my affirmations every morning at 8 a.m. is before that I'm running my morning checklist. Get up in the morning by 6:30, check. Lemon water, check. Morning meds, check. Apple Watch on, check. Write gratitudes, check. Affirmations, check. I just run that checklist every morning. Just like the calendar's a system, that morning checklist is a piece of that calendar system. I know, and here's the fun part, Celeste. You and others have this educational training that you are the problem. And you beat yourself up because you're the problem. Here is my model. And by the way, I give everybody else the same grace, like an employee or somebody I've hired. Is there a system in place? Do you have a morning checklist system, Celeste?
No.
Then there's a missing system. It's not you. It's a missing system.
So I
Now,
will
a
add to that. I
system-
have things I do, but I don't call it.
You don't have a
checklist.
system. You don't have a checklist. So
Right.
you build the checklist. Now, number two, is it a missing or broken process? A system is just a bunch of little processes. Okay, I didn't brush my teeth this morning. I need to put it on the checklist. I want you to get credit in the morning on this checklist for everything you already do, because you get a little adrenaline rush from checking those boxes. So we have the system, the morning checklist, we have our processes, and that's an ever evolving, updating set of processes. So don't beat yourself up. Just make it simple and short at first. I'm going to do these three things every morning. And as you do more and want to do more, you can add to the checklist, making sure you're checking all the boxes. And only after system and checklist do I then look to see if it's a people problem. So if I've got an assistant taking me from contract to close and they don't do it right, did I provide them a system I wanted them to follow? Usually the answer is no. I expected them to do it. Does every process exist on that system? Usually no. So you're editing and monitoring. And then if both of those are there, only then does it come down to, okay, you screwed up. Otherwise, it's me. Can I do anything to change them? Can I force change on them?
No.
No. Can I build an awesome system? And can I make sure every process is well documented? Yes. And that's what I want you to work on.
Okay.
Carrie, I'm going to hold you for tomorrow because I love you. I want you here. And I saw the mic's hot and I'm already 2 minutes over because I spazzed out on systems, processes, and people. That being said, guys, I love that you're here. I love you're sticking around. It is Thursday. We're going to make it a powerful Thursday and have an incredible day.